Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? Look, I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. It's your boy, Jay Moore. I'm your healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Man, what an awesome and incredible day. And here's what we're talking about today on the podcast. One of the biggest enemies to successful leaders. And what we're going to look at specifically are moments in a leader's life when the devil comes. The enemy comes and the devil's like, yeah, now that you had some success, now I'm gonna show you who you really are. So guys, look, man, I'm super excited about this. I want to give a shout out to my boy, Dr. Myron Edmonds. He's doing something amazing. Look, if you are a leader, and look, if you're a man, not just a leader, but if you are a man and you're looking for a community of men, for accountability and for support and just an overall experience of going to new levels, man, you got to check Myron Edmonds out. Let me see. He's actually doing a week of prayer. It's really helping men to to really get in touch with ourselves and kind of like the vulnerability that we need to have in our life so that we can be stronger men. And his message this week is that you don't have to be strong, man. So go check out Myron Edmonds. He's all over the internet. His website is myronedmonds.com, and he's doing something special this week. So if you are a man looking to win, you want to go to myronedmonds.com/wait list. But check him out. So guys, look, I'm inspired, and I was inspired today because of the message that he gave. And he took it, it's nothing like getting a story from the word. It's nothing like getting a story. I'm going to ask the question. If you, man or woman, you're a leader, you're a person in business, you're a person moving your life in a new way or to a new level. Let me ask you a question. When you have success, you've had success, and then a lot of times when we have success, something may come to distract you. Something may come to get you. Something may come to take you down a road you don't want to go. Look, there's, the famous story of Will Smith this year, with the Chris Rock. We're not going to get into that because I just like what Denzel Washington said. And that's what reminded me of, really when you get to the highest level, that's when you might see the devil, and Denzel told Will, he says, man, when you get to that high level, be careful. When you have that success, be careful, because that's when the devil is coming. So I want you to think about your success today. And I want you to think about when you've had success and what types of temptations showed up, what types of situations showed up that potentially derailed you. Look, there was a time when I was so vulnerable. And so what I'm going to share is back when I had a lot of success, right? Back when, me and another friend, we had a mortgage company together. Or even before at the mortgage company, you would have success and you would make all this money. And one of the things that I found, I started investing too much time in frivolous activity. Yep. Anybody has been successful, sometimes you let up and then you let up and then you go in a direction that potentially could take you down. Think about all the successful people. Think about people, especially men. Why is it? Answer me this question. Why is it that when it comes to men and when it comes to men having success and the types of things that take them down, why is it that sex is like the number one thing that takes a man down? Come on now, think about it. Sex is usually at the top of the list. Oh my goodness, like what happened? And so in Second Samuel, the chapter that Marvin talked about this morning, and David, and the story of Bathsheba, and how he basically took it. He, I mean, damn near raped the woman, and then wanted to cover it up. So just think about your success. I'm thinking about my success, and I'm thinking about when I was really having a lot of success in the mortgage business, and how it's at the moment of making money. It's at the moment of doing closing a big deal that all of a sudden you you drop your guard, and then you're susceptible to all sorts of things. I mean, just the time wasting, that I did back then. You know, I mean, all of the struggles that I have. Well, I don't have those particular struggles anymore. The struggles that I have today is focus. And I want you to think about something, right? One of the things that derails a lot of us successful people is focus, right? You can immediately lose focus. Something good can happen, and then all of a sudden you lose focus, and you're like, well, where'd that hour go? Where'd that 20 minutes go? What happened today? Why was I not successful? Or why was I not productive? And usually the productivity goes away because we had a little success or got something done. So you know what? Well, because I got something done, and I can go and maybe I can just go and relax. And if you think about the really successful, Kobe Bryant, God rest Kobe, man. So sorry that we lost Kobe. But Kobe was starting to share all the stuff that he did and how he got to where he did. But here's the thing: at Kobe's height, what happened? What happened to Kobe at his height? He got caught up. He got caught up in the scandal. He got caught up. He almost lost his wife. He almost lost the family at his height. Every successful person has probably got a story of, man, I was up here and then I made the mistake. And I did something that I shouldn't do. Let's go back to the word. So we got David. David took another man's wife, got her pregnant, and then wanted to cover it up. And cover it up to the point where he's trying to get Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, to sleep with her. But Uriah wouldn't do it. Think about this. He wouldn't sleep with his own wife. And so then David took it a step further and then had him killed. Sent him to the front line and had him killed. So he not only slept with the man's wife, then he had him killed. But then let's look at some other successful people. Here it is. Abraham is the father of many. And here it is. He's been told what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, his wife, who was not privy to the conversation with God. I want you to think about this. A lot of times we talk to our wives and we tell them things about, man, God is leading me to do this. And sometimes they may not understand how that's going to happen. So they may give us some advice. And that's what happened with Abraham. Abraham got advice from his wife because she's just like, look, God ain't gonna give me, because she was involved in this miracle. God ain't gonna give me no baby. We ain't gonna have no kids. So you might as well go and sleep with my servant. What? Abraham had the conversation with God. But the little man was like, well, it's an easy way for me to get a jump off. I can go and sleep with the servant. Dumb. Think about it. Most sexual things, for some reason with men, that's where we falter. That's where we go down. Let's go and look at another one. Solomon had all these wives, all these jump offs. Why was that? And because he had so many wives and so many jump offs, that's why he wound up losing it all at the end. He lost it all at the end. God didn't just take it away from him, but it affected generations to come because he went away through the women that he was seeing. See, here's the thing. Oh, one more. And the first marriage, the biggest decision of Adam's life came down to whether or not he believed he would, that the woman that God gave him, if whether or not he'd get another one. Like that had like, so why is it that men tend to falter when it comes to sexual things with women? I mean, Abraham faltered and his wife gave him the okay, but she really didn't want him to do it because she was pissed off at, like, when you go back and read the story, she wasn't too happy because now this woman wanted time from him and she didn't want to have no time because now she got the baby and she don't. So what happens is that leaders have success. Now, this may not be your problem. You may not have had a sexual thing or stuff like that come up in your life, but there's something that came up. And I talk about one thing, which is focus. And a lot of times you can be having some success, or maybe not having success as you want, but usually it's because you're cheating on the thing that you should be working on. So imagine if, man, I just saw something recently that gave a really good picture of this. Imagine your brain. I want you to think about your brain, and your brain having two sides. Just think, maybe your brain has two sides, right? And one side you're focused on one thing, and the other side you're focused on another. But what if you said, well, I can't focus on two things. I got to focus on one thing. Like, you got this business. You've got this idea. I'm talking to myself, guys, because look, this is still a level of breakthrough for your boy. Like I'm having to take this same admonishment in this podcast and use it for myself. So I have to take being split where you have two ideas, and it's no way you can do that, because if you were to take the one idea and just go straight with it and not cheat on it with other ideas, with other things, I'm sitting there like, man, too many things will take you off course. Everyone who is super successful, they did the one thing so many times, they didn't allow anything to get in the way. But when success comes, guys, when success comes, that's when we are the most vulnerable. Like, especially us men, we get vulnerable. Man, I'm thinking about all the successful men in my life, and I'm thinking about them, and I'm praying for them, and I'm praying that they would be strong, right? Like, even though that you don't want to just show being strong. We don't just want to play like we're strong. Like, I don't want to just act like I'm strong, because really I'm only strong in the power that God gives me. I'm only strong because he's strong. And because God is strong, then God can help me. Then God can walk with me. God can teach me. God can love me in a way that helps me to realize that I'm not strong. I'm more dependent on him. And because I'm so much more dependent on him, then it's like I'm strong. See, guys, success in our life and our business comes through dependence on what is strong. What is strong? God is strong. God is so strong that we don't need any strength. The things that will take us down in our life, our ministries, and our businesses, the things that will take you down, you have to be aware. You have to be so aware that it's like Denzel Washington said when he told Will Smith. He says, it's at your highest moment you must be careful, because that's when the devil comes for you. Devil's coming. And if we know that devil is coming, if we know that you have to be successful in your business, you have to be successful in your ministry, you have to be successful as a mother or a father, you have to be successful as a husband or a wife, you have to be successful. And if you have to be successful, then you must know that something will come. Something will come that if you are not aware, you'll fall into that trap. Look, my prayer today is that every person that watches this, listens to this, You won't fall into the trap of success where your ego, your pride gets the best of you, where you think you are bigger than what you are, where you believe that you are more than what you really are, because it's God that holds us up. So my prayer for you today is that you would allow yourself to be fully dependent in faith on the one who gives power. See, because being successful, I think, in this life, if you do certain things, you can be successful. But making those mistakes that, say, a Will Smith made, making those mistakes that David made, making those mistakes that Adam or making those mistakes that Solomon made, like those mistakes come. And they're going to come for you when you're at your highest level. Let's not look back and say, wow, I wish I would have not done those. So now, here's the thing. As we close, God can take care of all of that stuff, even when we make those mistakes. But we don't have to. So we just have to be aware that if you're striving to be a leader, then yes, you'll be successful. You'll also have to realize that in that success, that the devil's coming and he's going to come for you, because when you are successful, that's when you are the most vulnerable. Let's not allow success to get to our heads. Let's not allow our egos, our pride to make us feel like we're more than what we are at the time, and allow God to use us in a way that only he can. So guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the Healthy Accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.